recording. Okay, let's wait just one more minute and then we will start. Oh, I see that we have guests from Argentina. That's great. And I'm from Portugal. Okay, let's get started. So we have waited for 3 minutes. So everyone who wanted to come just came, and I hope this presentation, this webinar will be useful for you. So what we are going to discuss today, it's the effective recruiting process. And first, let me tell just a few words about myself. My name is Stefan, Steven, or Stepan, whatever you like. Any name you choose, I will answer you if you call me by any name. So I'm a Chief Product Officer of Hurma Systems, and we provide recruiting and HR management software. And today I would like to share my experience with the market with all of you and share the data we have collected from customers we have. So it's not about sale. I'm sharing just my experiences. Let's go. So whenever we talk about processes, we have to use some sort of model to build this process. And I personally like most of all the Deming process, which actually consists of 4 steps, but here I will use only 3 of them. It's slightly reduced and simplified. So what we have to do first, we have to plan. First of all, we create the recruitment funnel. I'll talk about this a bit later. Then we execute. We just strive to reach the goals we put in front of us and just trying to reach them out. And then we just have a look at the statistics. And this is the essential step of every process. It's the learning part. It's the part where we discover some insights. It's the part where we change our approaches and our attitudes when we recruit someone. So let's move on. First of all, we have to define our process. And the easiest and the most convenient way, in our opinion, it's using a funnel. I believe you have heard about sales funnel. It's somewhat similar, very close to what sales guys do, and actually hiring someone is very similar to selling, because you sell your company, you sell your colleagues, you sell your values to someone you're going to hire, because the guy you're going to hire have to accept the conditions you provide, have to accept the values you follow, and must be able to reach out for the results you expect from this guy. So the easiest way is to organize your hiring process around the funnel, where each step defines a sort of stage when you're hiring. For example, it could be sending an invitation, it could be interview with the CEO, it could be test task, or whatever you need to perform your hiring. So it's easy to measure and it's easy to organize or reorganize when it comes to making some conclusions about the efficiency of your process. And here is one more important decision you have to make. First, you have to understand what are you striving to reach Do you want the best specialist on the market? Do you want the best possible speed of hiring? Or what is your actually criteria which you are striving to optimize? So this decision must be made also here, because a lot depends on the goal you are pursuing. If you are about the speed, then you have maybe to reduce the number of steps to make the hiring process faster. And if you want to get the best specialist on the market, then you might consider adding more test tasks, adding more reviews from your colleagues and peers on more tests. So that's what I would say about the planning of the hiring process. Also, I would like to know that according to data we have in our system, that 95% of candidates which are stored in our system are collected with the sourcing plugin. It's a special plugin for browser who is able capturing CVs from the internet, and it really makes your work as a recruiter really fast. And only 5% of the applications for the job openings you publish are made by the candidates on themselves. Though I must note in advance that this proportion is rapidly changing, because more and more companies are reversing this flow, and they rely more on the attraction of candidates and making them going through their hiring. So they are striving to reverse the model from the push, when the recruiter actively pulls the candidate from the stage to stage, to the push when the candidate is on his own move between the stages. I'll elaborate on this a bit later. So nevertheless, at the moment, plan for active work, for active search of candidates, for active sourcing, 95% of your time. That's really big amount you have to dig on yourself right now. One more note which I would like to share with you is that you have to select proper communication channels, because as we can see, emails sent do not work at all. The conversion rate from the invitation to actually appearance of the candidate on the interview is almost zero. Response rate is really low. The better option is using phone or calls to the cell, to the mobile. It really works better. Maybe 1 out of 5 is successful, and you can reach out for your candidate. And the best option is using instant messaging like WhatsApp, Telegram, Viber, or whatever messenger you like. And there is a clear reason for this, because well, as programmers would say, it decouples the communication. It means that you send the message and your candidate reads it whenever she is ready to do this. And then she finds time to respond and response. And instant messaging is grabs much more attention from the candidates than email. So our recommendation is use WhatsApp, use Telegram, or use Instagram, Facebook, whatever messaging you can you have at your disposal. It really works better. And we also will recommend marking up the honeypots you put on the internet. So what is a honeypot? It's a kind of link which you place in LinkedIn, in Facebook, maybe in Instagram, in any social network you can find around. And we recommend that you mark it with special labels. These labels will help you later determine which channels attract more candidates and which channels do really convert into the real employees. So here is an example of a report you can get, and you can see that there are lots of channels which attract candidates. But the only 2 of them are really provide candidates which later become your employees. So what conclusion can you make when seeing this type of graph? you can decide that you will invest your time into those channels which actually convert into employees. So we recommend marking up your honeypots with the UTM labels and track them with the tool available to you, Google Analytics or a dedicated application tracking system, and that will really save your effort, save your time. So beware. And also, we recommend tracking a recruitment process timings because, well, all of you, I believe, are the professionals, and you can easily understand that if you have to hire a sort of developer like React or Angular or JS developer, then you will know that on average, it takes you to review 200 CVs. And if you have these CVs in 3 days, then it means that the job opening will be closed in a week, for example. So you have those kind of information in your head, and you just can track and monitor this, because it's quite usual that the departments which request hiring an employee, they want the employee not in the abstract future, they want it, say, in a week, maybe in a month. So to plan this, you have to fill up your funnel with sufficient number of candidates and in a specific time, if you want to close your job opening on time. So track your recruitment process timings. And one more note, which I would like to share with you, that the hiring process is changing nowadays. I believe you can see that the economic conditions around us are kind of worsening, and the situation is going down. And at this time, the labor market turns to be the buyer market. The buyer is the employer. So employers start to dominate, and they dictate their terms, they dictate the salary, they dictate the experience level and all the stuff. And if you, as an employer, dominate the market, then you can save a lot on hiring the employees. You don't have to hunt for them. And you turn from hunting to harvesting. It means that you can just put out these honeypots which attract candidates and wait for them to come and to pass all your tests. You don't have to pull them. And what does it mean for you? It means that you can automate these steps, and you can use automated system which really save your time and help you focus on the best candidates and just dramatically reduce your time to spend to select a proper candidate. So some people told me that this tendency relates only to low-skilled employees, like blue collars, like workers, like cleaning, maybe administrative staff in the office. But I clearly see, and it's backed with our data, that this tendency is penetrating the high-skilled market, the white-collar market. And actually, C-level guys are also selecting using the same technique. So I expect this type of hiring to dominate the market maybe in 2 or 3 years, and it's actually convenient. It helps to save resources for the employer. So I believe that we eventually will turn to this type of selection. So it's the way when you just market your job, you market your company, you market your values, and you just collect the feedback from the market and collect the candidates and just pull them through your hiring process. So what does it mean for you? It means that you have to attract as much candidates as possible, because you can select from them. You can find the most motivated guys. You can find the most skilled guys. So, and to do this, there are special tools like sourcing plugin. And you can see the screenshot, which is on the right side of your screen, and there is an image of this plugin which is just engaged in LinkedIn page, and I just press the button scan, and I have this candidate in my pocket, and it all takes less than a second, and then you can switch to another candidate, and that's the way you get your candidates. So as soon as you have your candidate, you can just drop him into the funnel and assign specific automatic actions for each stage of your funnel. Like you can send a greeting email with the first test, like disk test or something like this, maybe any other type of test. And the candidate then passes this test, and if she passes, then you just promote him to the next stage, and then one more automated step can happen, like scheduling a meeting or scheduling an interview, and that's the way it works. So the more candidates you gather, the more automated your system is, the best employee you hire. That's the thing which is going on to happen in the near future. So that's essentially all I wanted to share with you. And if you have any questions, I would be happy to answer. You can type your question in the chat section. If no question, just say, no, I don't have any questions. I'm not going to ask anything. Not for now. Okay, fair enough. So if we have no questions for discussion, so thank you so much for coming and watching our session. That was a pleasure to meet you, and I wish you every success in your endeavors. See you later.